So I am Prashant. Uh, I work in the Merchant Navy. I'm a captain. I've been out at sea for the last 30 years. And when I was a kid, my father tried a lot to get me into some sports, but I always used to run away from whatever badminton, shakhet, and all those things. So I never did anything and did not want to. But I went into a profession which required, at least initially, to be a little bit more physically active. Somehow I managed it for the first 3-4 years, no problem. Life went on. I was having a good time out at sea, in the sense a disciplined life, more or less, 6-7 months, and then a lot of indulgence out here, a lot of drinking, parties, everything. It was all good. Later on, I started working offshore, so the time out at sea was less, and time out here was more. So like 4 weeks on, 4 weeks off. So it was like full discipline out there, no drinking, nothing, and out here, full party. After that, because I used to do some theater and everything when I was a kid, I got into movies. I produced a few movies, and again, there was a lot of partying there, everything. So by the age of about 40, my father is a diabetic. So I did a couple of tests, and of course, I found that I had high sugar, maybe blood pressure. And I was like, I don't want to be 50 and want to keep taking medicines. So at least I thought I should, time to pull up my socks. I started walking. Walking turned into running. A friend of mine said, since you're walking like 1.5, 2 hours a day, like an old man, why don't you run? So she registered me for a 10K run, and I actually could do it without stopping. She actually had to wake me up in the morning and get me out there. So then it became a good justification that I can run and I can party. So it was good. Every weekend, this was 2017, 2018, and every weekend there was something. There was some kind of run or the other. And I used to register, I used to go, then pick up beers and party. It was good, not evenings, but party at 7:30, 8 in the morning after the runs. And then I joined a group called Blue Brigade. Okay, this was just before I was doing my first half marathon. So I joined a group called Blue Brigade, and Blue Brigade is a group which is founded by a diabetic, and he's a heavy diabetic, and he just basically controls his diabetes by running. Wow. And he and a couple of other people at that time were doing 21 kilometers or half marathons every day for 125 days. So I went for one day. I said, okay, good. I can do one. And he said, come again tomorrow. So I managed for 25 days. And then I went on the ship, and even on the ship, I did a couple of times on the treadmill. And I was with them almost, while I was still on the ship. And I started thinking, instead of going for the regular 21, 42 and the normal things, I wanted to go longer, or I thought that was my kind of temperament. So, okay, I did that. And then again, the people in this group were also a little crazy, same thing. And many of the future further runs were based or decided in parties. Sorry, it keeps coming back, but okay. So now 21, and then every time I used to go on the ship, there was a decision, okay, next time when I come back, let's do a 50K. And again, then that discipline was there, how to prepare for it, how to get to it, and do it. So this was about in 2018-19. That was the time I did my first 50K. And then again, the distances kept increasing. In 2020, it was my father's 75th birthday. So I ran 75 kilometers on that day. And that confidence kept on building. And I was like, okay, I can do this. I don't need to run fast. I just need to run longer. And that's fine. And then one thing led to another. Okay, let's do a 161. That is 100 miles. So did that. The distances kept on piling up. And I was like, what more is out there? And somehow I found out about these races which run for days together, 6 days, 10 days. So I was like, can I do this with my kind of, I'm not an athlete. I still don't consider myself an athlete. And do I have the discipline for it? But if you dig deep down, yes, you do have disciplines for whatever you feel like doing. And then, as we decided to do again one more run, which again, this Blue Brigade works a lot for charities, for diabetics, for type 1 diabetic children, and we raise money. So we decided to run Pune to Kolhapur. So we raised some 10 lakhs, 7 lakhs it was, I think, for that. And I was like, okay, you can do good things out of this too, for your own and otherwise also. And essentially the group was formed for people to manage the diabetes and get off their couches and do something. And we are still doing it. We have like 7 or 8 locations in Pune and about 1,000 people trained free of charge. So again, that went on, and then we did another run near on the outskirts of Pune, again to raise money, and that was about 338 kilometers. These distances come from different ultramarathons all over the world, and that is why we chose them. These were all unofficial runs. And then, of course, I decided, okay, now let me go do something more official. So I went to Australia and did a 6-day run. So the run format is you have 24 hours of today, and you can run as much as you can. Sleep if you want, eat, sleep, run. So I managed 500 kilometers in that. And again, these things are, I think, whatever addictions I had before, which are still there, but these are better addictions. These are better addictions, and I started enjoying them. And again, the theme of this talk, the invisible hours. I work on ships which work offshore for drilling or oil and gas. I just came from Qatar just about 2 days before all hell broke loose. So the solitude in that, the night shifts and sometimes 2 days of no sleep, and people who have worked in different professions will know some things about this. So I think those are the invisible hours which helped me do this, and vice versa also. Like later on, as I kept on going, I thought it helped me out at sea also. So I think that is how the connection for the invisible hours. And okay, then of course, again, I still wanted to go do more. And in 2024, I registered for a 10-day run. In US, there is an Indian guru who went there in the 60s, 70s, I think the same time as Osho and everything, but his thing was about sports and meditation. So he said there is no limit to what the mind and the body can do. So he has started runs since 1997 or something. So I ran the 10-day run in 2024 and did 882 kilometers. And I wanted to go again, so I went last year, and I did 968 kilometers. And people ask, how do you keep going? How do you think? What goes through your mind? I think for me, what I loved most, I think we can compare this to life in general also, and these inspiration stories we have heard just now. During the runs, and I get to experience it maybe every half an hour, you go all the way down where you think you cannot continue at all. And then half an hour later, you feel like you're on the top of the world. You can keep doing this for I don't know how long. And I think I like that high. I like the lows because then I know I'm going high. And I think this is better than any drug or alcohol or anything like that. So I think I love that. Going forward, there is a little bit of a run that I have been selected for. I have been invited for. I am the first Indian to do this. In the last 30 years, about 56 people have done it. And this race is held every year. It is the longest certified foot race in the world. 3,100 miles or 4,989 kilometers. And if you finish in time, you're allowed to do 11 more, so you finish 5,000 kilometers.
Wow.
So this is happening in August this year. And I hope, since I've been selected, I hope to be the first one to complete it. First Indian. So, and I'm just putting it out there. I'm looking for a helper who has a US visa and who can come with me, all expenses paid for, of course, and help me with this run. Thank you. Thank you.